Good morning and welcome to today's informational webinar. My name is Carl Nalter and it's my privilege to be your host this morning as we chat all things African Insurance Exchange 2021, Reimagined to Reconnect. And I know that like me, many of you are really keen to reconnect and talk and share and learn from each other in this amazing industry. So this morning's webinar, I'm joined by Thokozile, who heads up, I think we all know that by now, the ISA, Vivian, who heads up Sahia, and also Nombusa from Sun City. And all three of these impressive leaders are going to be sharing information with us about the conference. We're going to be asking and answering some of the questions that many of you have had. Yeah, I'm really excited. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, Thokozile, how are things going at the ISA?
It's been a great start of 2021. It didn't feel like we had a break, actually. It just felt like we went home for a weekend and back at it. So it's been great, busy focusing on conference and also just focus areas for 2021.
Great, and you guys are ready for conference and excited?
Oh yeah, we are. Oh yeah, we are.
Good. And Vivian, Sahia, what's been happening at Sahia?
Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Carl. So yeah, it's good. We are up and running, mostly still working from home. Our policy is still to mostly work from home. But yes, we are having our first board meeting of the year next week. We've had a round of board committee meetings, quite a lot of exciting things happening that I think would be in the interest of the industry going forward. Thanks.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things that COVID has taught us, amongst many lessons, not that we need it reminding, I think, but quite how valuable insurance is and quite how important the insurance industry is. It really is the bedrock of our economy. And so thank you also for the role that you and Sahia play. And we look forward to you chatting a little bit about topics and other information around the insurance exchange this morning. And then we've got Nombusa, who's with us from Sun City. And how are things looking up at Sun City?
Good morning, everyone. Hotels are busy every weekend and conferencing. We've had a few inquiries just because we've increased numbers from 50 to 100 inside and 250 outside. But we're hoping that with the level of COVID numbers going down, we'll increase the numbers by the time the conference is on site.
Absolutely, and I think with all the precautions that you guys have taken with COVID protocols, and we'll talk a little bit about that, your first priority is to ensure that all the people attending are safe, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Right, without any further ado, Thokozile, when is the conference happening? What's the date? Have we got a confirmed date?
Yes, we do. From the 2nd to the 3rd of August. Those are the business session days, but you can include Sunday as a golf day.
And registration's open?
Yes, registration's open. It's been open since December. We've closed off the early bird, but registration is open and we encourage everyone to start registering now and not wait until later on.
Absolutely. So as I understand it, this year's conference, the 2nd and 3rd of August, regardless of what happens, we'll be going ahead. First prize is we're doing physical conference at Sun City. We'll have some satellite physical areas, am I right in saying that, both in Cape Town and in Durban?
Yes, yes indeed.
And then an online session as well. So there's really no excuse for people not to be able to attend.
None at all. Conference is happening in different forms, with different conversions, but definitely happening. Yes, we're looking forward to being at Sun City. It will be at different conversions with a couple of sessions happening scattered around in line with the COVID regulations. And yes, the satellites in Cape Town and Durban will happen with some human interaction in line with the COVID regulations, of course. And yes, virtual will be there too. Right. So there is no need for anyone not to attend the AIE 2021.
Great, and I think it's an important point that those members of the industry, and there are a few of them that have been holding back from their bookings, wanting some more certainty, I think we can give them that certainty. Conference is going ahead. First prize is a physical virtual mix. But regardless of where we are with COVID levels, we'll be having the conference, which is great. So you talk about these satellite setups in Cape Town and Durban. Who's going to be hosting them? Because I'm worried myself that they're going to be boring in a dull little room and what's the point? So what are you guys envisaging those being like?
Boring is definitely not going to be part of it. So we have a very strong team at CN&CO that's going to make sure that the interaction is relevant, meaningful business engagements, and a little bit of social. But it's not going to be a sit down in a room with just a couple of people. That we're going to avoid. We're going to make sure that there's engagement with the main conference at Sun City so that people still feel connected and still feel the presence of the Sun City conference, if I can call it that, or the live sessions at Sun City.
And Thokozile, I think you're probably going to regret asking me to host this session because we haven't prepared any of the questions. And so here's one of many left-wing questions that I'm just making up as we're going along. Is it fair to say, though, that in areas like KZN and Cape Town then, that the Insurance Institute would be happy and keen to work with the local institutes, get them to bring their members, get them to be more involved with the conference, and it's actually an opportunity that we've not had in the past to have far more local attendees?
The beauty of these type of sessions is to come unprepared and respond to the need. Most definitely, Carol, we collaborate with local institutions on many other things that we do. So conference is definitely one of them that we'll be engaging with them, bringing their members into the conference and using them as a promotion platform for the conference. So definitely that collaboration is going to carry on for the AIE 2021.
Right. So before we carry into some more detail, I want to ask Nombuso in terms of the Sun City setup and COVID protocols. People that have concerns about safety, what is Sun City doing at the moment and how are you envisaging these playing out towards August and the conference?
Okay, so what we're doing as you enter from the main gate, we've got a screening process that every guest that comes through Sun City must complete. So it's the basic questions like, have you been in contact with anyone for the past 10 days? And also, have you had COVID? All of those questions. So we preempt before even you're allowed to come inside Sun City. At that point, you also are sanitized and also tested your temperature. By the time you get to your hotel, also the same process applies. The only thing we take out from that process is the completing of the screening questions because we've done it at the gate. Also, when on the days of conferencing, and the main entrance in the conference space, we do the same thing. We've also changed how in the past we used one table for conferencing, you'll have 3 people. Currently, you have 1 or 2 maximum, depending on the 1.5 social distancing space that we need to comply with. So, and also on your desk, we normally used to have a glass, water, all of those fancy things. So we're now drinking from a bottle, which for AISA delegates, they would be like, oh, but we're used to this. But because of COVID, we're trying to limit the things that people use and that might contribute to the negative impact on COVID. On your desk, you also find a sanitizer that you can use throughout the sessions. And also the nicest thing is we've got isolation rooms in our hotels. So if you feel that you're not feeling well, or maybe your temperature has increased, within Sun City, we manage that process. And then we also have tests in-house that can help check if it is really COVID or not before we transfer you to a government facility that manages COVID within the Northwest Province. So those are the things that we're currently doing for conferencing. And with numbers, as we all know, with the president, it changes every month. So currently it's 100. We can have sessions in different venues. We have more than 5 venues that can accommodate up to 1,000, as we all know. But currently we can only do 100 in each venue. So we are looking at that and we are guided by the changes as and when it happens. So let's say tomorrow it will be 250. We also change our strategy towards the 250 that we need to accommodate in each venue.
Great, thank you very much. That sounds fantastic, and it won't be the first time that the Sun City team have had to help some delegates get medical attention, either on site or further afield.
100%.
So they're certainly good at that. And I think what we're also envisaging is that people adhere to common sense, which we're all doing, social distancing, taking responsibility, and working with Sun City. So I'm really excited by this platform and the safety that you've put into place. Vivian, maybe if we can go to you and ask you a little bit around content and the discussions that you and Thokozele's team are having around speakers, and some thoughts around that. Are we going to see more of the same? Are we going to be streaming speakers, real life? Keen to hear Sahir's view on the content for the conference.
Okay, thanks, Carl. I just wanted to first say, the different options of, of how people can attend this conference. To me, is already, I suppose COVID-19 has forced us into these things, but I think that this will probably stay, into the future, because it also provides another advantage. And that advantage is that there's more access. So people who in the past could only have gone, physically to Sun City, it is really, I think, a testament to the resilience and the forward-looking aspect of this conference and the planning and organizing committee, that these kind of different options are being brought into the mix. I'm personally very excited about that. So to speak to your point about what is this conference going to be like, I can tell you that I'm very excited about the topics, the themes from on day one and day two, more or less. Um, it obviously does not ignore the COVID-19 impact and the new way of doing business, the new way of working, and are not, dwelling on all the negatives, but actually looking at how this unexpected event actually, changed things for the better in many cases. So I'm excited for the first day, where we're going to be looking at, the future, forward-looking insurance 2050, resilience that's needed, which we've already shown as an industry, I believe, and obviously is imperative into the future to remain relevant as sustainable as an industry. I also really very much look forward to the leadership piece that we are envisaging for day one as well, in terms of ethical and effective leadership. I think, this crisis that we are probably still in, has shown that effective and ethical leadership is really, really important. So, and then the topic, the future is now, where we're going to look at how, how to deal with disruption. What are the, what are the lessons that we've learned, that we should be doing better going forward. It includes, obviously, the regulatory and governance environment, the cyber threats, which we all know is becoming more and more relevant. And then, technological change, which is absolutely crucial in the future going forward. I really also think that the issue of the uncertainty around economic growth, not only in South Africa, globally, is something that we need to always keep in the back of our minds. The industry always is very closely related to the fortunes of the economy and the growing economy. And so I think these are all very relevant, but also forward-looking things in terms of what have we learned, what are the uncertainties, what are the challenges, and how can we use technology and other measures to fix these. So I'm going to stop there, because day two is even more interesting for me, but I think I've said enough now. I'm looking forward to both days.
People wanting more.
Yeah.
So thanks, Vivian. That's great. I think the only thing we can confidently predict about insurance in 2050 is that Simon Coleman, our Peter Pan in the insurance industry, will still be looking the same and being the expert in his field. But Thokozele, I know from personal experience that you're really passionate about the content and try and include not only Sahir but a broad base of people in the industry to help formulate the content. So if people have got ideas or requests or concerns around content, what is the best way for them to share those? Or if somebody says, I really think this person will be fantastic, let's zoom them in from, Chile, or what about this? How can they contribute to the content formulation?
So the industry is more than welcome to get in touch with me at any point. So if there's a speaker that a person wants to suggest or a topic that we can still incorporate, that is more than welcome. So yes, that's still open. And we don't even have to fly the people over. The technology has gone so advanced, we can zoom them in, as you said. So that is open. So if anyone feels there's a need to perhaps consider a particular speaker or consider an addition to the content that Vivian highlighted, we are open to doing so.
And I really want to underline that point, Tukuzile, because again, as I said from personal experience, there's not a set view that you as the ISA have, this has got to be the content. You really want to have content that adds value to individuals and their own growth, and also to the companies and others that attend, so that we can improve how we provide insurance to the market. So I'm also interested, I mean, you've had some great speakers that you personally have gotten us in the past from Africa. Are you envisaging that we again going to have some of our African insurance friends contributing content?
That is going to carry on, and maybe let me start by saying for us, inclusivity is very important when we plan a conference of this nature. Especially with the streaming, we're definitely going to be having more of our international delegates who ordinarily would perhaps not be able to attend conference. So the inclusivity, not only from our own industry, the speakers that we are inviting are also outside the industry. We are talking to speakers at Vodacom to learn from that. So we are really varying the type of content we need. There's a lot we can learn from other industries, and there's a lot we can learn from the continent as well. So yes, there will be speakers from the continent as well, as we have done in the past, on different angles and different topics that we can both learn from each other.
Right. So I checked on the ISA portal yesterday, thank you very much, my CPD points, to see what I need to do before the cycle concludes. And I'm very proud to say I only need another 2 hours. But CPD hours, CPD points are always of concern, obviously, for people in the industry who need it for their professional designations, but also for various other reasons within the industry. Will you be accrediting the conference? And will people be getting CPD hours whether they attend virtually and physically? How is that going to work?
So the conference will be accredited, yes. At this point, we're estimating at about 9 to 10 CPD hours that one will get. Whether you attend virtually, whether you attend at the satellite or live at Sun City, you will get the same hours if you attend all the sessions that will give you the 10 hours. So yes, minimum about 9 to 10. If we grow the content, we could have a bit more. But everyone who attends the conference from start to finish and does not skip any of the sessions, they will get the full CPD hours that are allocated to conference.
Great. So, Vazilia, there's been some concern in the past around the cost of the conference. Do you maybe want to talk a little bit about what the fee is this year? Is there a discount for members? How does that work? And do you personally think this is an expensive and out of reach conference, or do you think it does offer value for money?
So the cost for conference is always a debate that many of the delegates raise, and it's always a concern that friends in the industry raise. The cost for conference generally, I think it's value for money. It is a prestigious conference. It's not a simple mini seminar. It's a conference that's meant to bring speakers of note to us, and bringing those type of speakers does cost money. So the content that one engages with at conference has got to be balanced with the cost of it. We've toned down the costs quite a lot this year, taking into account the economic environment, taking into account the experience we had with the pandemic. So the costs have been reduced quite a lot. I mean, for the first time in a very long time, we had the early bird at 5,000 for the live sessions. That's close to nothing. It's normally double that. The normal sessions for members is 8,000, slightly more for non-members. And again, we're encouraging people to become either corporate partners or members of the Institute to enjoy that benefit. So the cost is in line with the content and in line with the logistics of bringing this type of a content to the industry. So I think the cost is aligned.
Now, there's obviously an overlap between some of your members as ISA and Sahia and the people that Vivian and her committee serve. So I'm interested to know what is the cost, by the way, of ISA membership?
That varies
From a level, the most expensive, which is the heritage designation, is about 2,500 a year. We are still
one of the most affordable membership organizations. Other professional bodies are trying to get it out.
And have you grown your base at all, members?
We have, despite the challenging times, last year we grew by 7%. We're coming from a much higher percentage the previous year, and the previous year was 7%. For us, we managed to retain the members, and that's the focus again for this year. Retain, retain, retain. Yes, while we grow, but we need to retain. And for us, that's ready for.
Vivian, your members and attending, how keen are they in coming to the insurance conference? And maybe also just share a little bit, how many members does CEO have? I don't think everybody knows quite how big your membership is.
Thanks, Coral. Yes, we have 60 members from the, very specialist, smaller to medium companies. We have 3 state-owned insurance company members, the reinsurers, as well as your traditional insurers, and who work, sort of a lot in the intermediated market, as well as our direct insurance. So we have a broad spread of the insurance industry as members of ours, and at least around 90% of the market. In terms of premium income, those companies are members of ours. So yes, look, I think that the whole industry see the annual conference, the AIE conference, as a premier event for touching base, sharing information, learning about new things, maybe getting different perspectives, etc., etc. So I think that it's an event that is supported. Obviously, the way in which people attend would vary from company to company in terms of their policies. But I do think that it is an event that are supported and that do want to participate in. I would like to just say that if we remember that SAIA is a partner to this conference, so we are a partner of, and this debate has come up in our board meetings with our members. Is there value in SAIA being a part of this conference? And every time the answer is yes, there is value in this conference, there is value in the partnership, and therefore SAIA continues to support it.
Thank you very much, Vivian. That was really interesting. So Thokozile, the ISA members, SAIA members, who can exhibit at the conference, and are you doing an exhibition again?
Yes, we are. We are doing an exhibition again. Again, it will be different, controlled, making sure that we adhere to the regulations. Exhibition is open to anyone. An intermediary, a UMA, so it's open to everyone. We don't limit exhibitors or the type of exhibitors, software providers, so it's open to any organization that's within and outside the industry. And again, if any of our industry partners deem a particular organization as a relevant one to exhibit at conference, they're more than welcome to suggest that. Exhibition will be on a rotation basis. It will be on a scheduled basis as well. So that is again an area that will provide meaningful engagements and also making sure that delegates engage with the exhibitors and gain value from it. So that's the approach we've adopted, supporting and aligning and complying with the COVID regulations, but also looking at we need to connect. We need to just reconnect in a different way.
Exactly. So I know that you and the team are also looking at virtual exhibitions and all kinds of other ways that people can contribute. But if somebody is keen to be a sponsor, to be a partner, again, who do they contact and what's that process?
So a potential exhibitor can contact either CN&CO, our events organizers, or contact the office, myself. We've got the marketing team here as well. So any one of those people can engage with you, share the brochure with you, which we will put up on our website page, conference page particularly, just to show you opportunities that are there for sponsorship and opportunities for exhibition.
And I think the easiest way for people is just go to the IISA's website, check out the conference page and all the information will be there.
Agreed.
Right, I think that's very exciting. And so, Thokozile, sometimes people say, well, we can't sponsor, can't be involved. We're a startup, we're a smaller company, economic conditions, we're a overseas-based company. The people overseas are saying maybe not. So do I need to have 500,000 Rand plus to spend to be a partner and contribute? Or, is there scope for people with different kind of budgets?
So we've categorized their conference sponsorship packages, and we've toned them quite a lot from the historic packages, but we are open to conversing and engaging and tailor-make a particular package for a potential sponsor or a potential exhibitor. So those engagements and conversations, we're quite open to taking care of it.
Right. And just a reminder to register, easiest way to go to the ISA website as well?
Yes, go to the ISA website, there is a tab, AIE 2021, click on that and just book.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A question for Nombuso in Sun City, and I'm sorry if this is another one of my stupid questions. The other venues, does that fall under control of Sun City? Are we having different providers or partners? How's that working? Thokozile, Nombuso, who should answer that?
I'll take it.
Go for it. Sorry, Nombuso.
Okay.
So we engaged with Sun International, and we also engaged with other providers, so that we are exploring different providers and not limiting ourselves to Sun International, but they are our first preferred service provider.
So Nombuso only has to worry about us in Sun City and make sure we don't get COVID in Sun City.
Definitely. You won't get it here. I hope you won't bring it to Sun City.
Absolutely. No, I've been so impressed by a number of friends and acquaintances, both in the industry and outside, who've been going to Sun City just to get away, particularly with families, but also attending some events there now. And I've heard excellent things about the protocol there. So well done, and thank you to you and your team. Right, any other questions that we need to ask or answer? Anything else that you want to share that's top of mind, Thokozile? Tell me what you're most excited about this year at the conference.
I'm looking forward to just a different conference, a conference that we are all thinking and rethinking and repositioning as we go along. It's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, but as it unfolds, that's exciting. Just to get in touch with people again, just to see people. I think I'm not the only one who's missing people. So I'm looking forward to just reconnecting with the people and see how this different conference is going to unfold.
Yeah.
So we just invite everyone to work with us, pull with us as we change and reposition, move with us.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, and I must commend you and Saya, particularly how you are rolling with the punches, being very agile, very flexible, and my sense is that both you and Vivian and your teams want to make sure that you offer real value to your teams. I want to abuse you and Vivian while we've got you a little bit, and we've got a couple of hundred people listening to us and live streaming. Vivian, it's here at the moment. I mean, what's top of your agenda? What are you guys really working on and focusing? You said you've got a board meeting coming up. Are you able to share perhaps a little bit of strategy and focus areas that's here at the moment? Putting you on the spot there big time, sorry. I'll buy you a drink later.
Thanks, Carl, for that curveball. But look, we're very busy. I think last year was we had lots of curveballs, and there was a lot of adrenaline around, sort of adapting and dealing with all the challenges. But I think from a SAIA point of view and an industry point of view, I think that we have actually weathered that unexpected storm pretty resiliently, although it was very stressful. This year is a little bit different, and I think the focus is now a lot on the reputational risks around the industry. We all know that we did take a few reputational knocks last year. So one of our big focus area this year is to proactively, and through the assistance of our communications partner, FTI Consulting, work on a plan and implement it in terms of creating a better understanding of what insurance is, what the value of insurance is, etc., etc. So I think that's one of the biggest focused areas that we need to do. We're still, sort of struggling to find a way to position the messaging, because it's not always easy to make something that could be very complex very simple. So we're working very hard on that part of things. We are very much aware of, and I was going to mention that on day 2 of the program, where there are clearly protection gaps in terms of insurance cover and risks. So the perfect example, obviously, is pandemics now. And this is going, this is going to remain going forward a protection gap. There are other issues around climate change, other issues around infrastructure failures, for example, the issues around ESCOM and potential blackouts, which I can inform you. I attended a session where ESCOM presented their plans, and that we should all be very happy when load shedding is actually implemented, because that's really very hard at work to prevent such an event. But issues around, the sustainability of insurance, as well as the sustainability of the environment, that's very much top of mind. A new issue, which I think is also very related, and it's also on the program at the conference, is cybercrime. And we do know that we are going to, whatever happens with COVID, we are going to live increasingly in a technological world, and potentially in a hybrid virtual stroke physical world as soon as we can do that. And so this threat really becomes an increasing threat. And so now we're already looking forward in terms of, would that be sustainable insurance cover if the threat and the risks come, so prevalent? So these are the kind of issues. So we are also looking very much forward. We are forward looking in terms of the gaps and the partnerships that we have to sort of put in place. And obviously also very much so with government in terms of addressing these sustainability issues that sort of have an impact on people's livelihoods, on the economy at large, as well as on our industry. So that's sort of in a nutshell a little bit about what we are busy with at the moment.
Thanks, Vivian. That's really interesting, and I appreciate you taking that curveball. And it gives me also a strong sense, and I hope all of those listening, that in years gone by, far less now because people's experience, but a criticism that it's only a certain type of person that attends the conference. It's only an underwriter, it's not a broker, it's only a broker, it's not a reinsurer. I know that Thokozile and Sahia feel very strongly about the fact that this is an inclusive, as Thokozile also said, insurance conference. So no matter where you play in the insurance chain, supply chain, this is the conference for you, and where you can get real value, real learnings as an individual, as a company, real growth, real opportunities. And I think that the theme that you've chosen, Thokozile, about Reimagined to Reconnect is very important as we share ideas across the industry again. So it's going to be good. I think we're going to wrap up. We don't want to go over our time. But just to conclude, I want to say a big thank you to our partners, Mabuso and team at Sun City, all the effort they're putting in to make sure we're safe. And thank you very much to Sahia and their massive contribution, not only in terms of content, but all your members. We all know that some of the smartest and nicest people in the world work in insurance, and we look forward to all their contributions. And then Thokozile, thanks to you and ISA, I know that you are a, what shall I say, to be politically correct, which I'm not often, but you're a bull terrier dressed up and looking amazing, because you are tenacious in making sure that this conference will happen. You are tenacious in making sure that this conference will happen well and add value within the industry. So to you and your team, Sahia and everybody who's part of this, thank you very much. We really look forward to getting together, to learn, and I'm going to hand over to you for the final closing words, please.
Thank you, thank you. I enjoy living on the edge. So this conference is actually very exciting to me, and looking forward to making sure that, yes, we reconnect, not only as an insurance industry, but as a people. It is much needed, and this type of a conference can only be successful with the support of a great events organizer, a great partner like SAIA, great content contributor, FIA, and of course our the host at Sun City. So it's a collaboration. It really takes all of us to make it work. It takes all of us pulling together, challenging each other, questioning each other, and eventually come with a product that will be admired by all. So yes, I'm looking forward to August, and I'm looking forward to the adrenaline building up, dying down as the regulations change. But conference is definitely happening, Carol, that I must repeat. Conference is happening in whatever shape or form.
Great. Conference is happening. Go to the ISA's website, go to the conference page, register, and we look forward to seeing you 2nd and 3rd of August, face-to-face, virtually, one of our satellite venues. But go and register and join the many hundreds of people who've already done so. Enjoy the rest of your day, making a massive contribution through the activities in insurance, and thank you very much for joining us this morning. Cheers.